We're live! All right, we're here. Look at this. Look at this. I got a full panel and everything. People are logging in at this point in time. Hello, people, as they're arriving. Welcome. This is the Love Doctor live stream. We are on a Wednesday. This is November 4th. This is the 4th of November, not the 4th November. Well, it's the 4th day of November, but it's one of those things. We're here, so people are logging in and making comments. Yes, Cherry. Welcome, Cherry. Cherry Top is saying cheesy music. Yes, we had the cheesy Irish music had happened. And that is a perfect. We are here. Look who's with me. It's all right. First off, I just like we have to mention the person of the hour right there is Wild D'Lilah, the fantastic Wild D'Lilah. She is so amazing. She did such a fantastic job putting together the entire trick or tease marathon telethon show. Raised all that money for the BIPOC Amplify scholarship, as well as for Arabesque Burlesque. Amazing. Thank you very much, Wild D'Lilah. And we have a first time new panelist here. It's Kaya Koko. Welcome, Kaya. We're so happy to have you. You had such an amazing performance as part of Trick or Tease, and it's look at that. Everybody's tuning in already. The people tuning in. We got to say hello to everybody. We have Marianne. Marianne is saying hello.
Hello.
She's like the queen or something. And I never really thought I'd be trading hellos with the queen. Winona J. Fox, the amazing Winona J. Fox. That craft video, you can see clips of it on her Instagram. Oh, fuck, did she do a good job with that? That's amazing. Don't go to her Instagram now. Stay for the bloody show. All right, we've got Denny Leger, long-time viewer, is here. Hi and meow. There he is. We always it can't be the internet unless we have a cute kitten, and that is for sure. For those of you who are looking to be asking questions, let me see where the little there was a question thing here. Where'd Oh, all right. I'm gonna have to recreate that because I think I accidentally deleted it because I'm in a fucking rush. All right. So it's that is where people are supposed to go to ask the questions. There we are. That's it right there. Go to Slido. You can either go to slido.com or sli.do, and the event code is TLD29. Because this is the 29th episode. Do you realize that? Quarantine has been long enough that the Love Doctor live stream has done 29 episodes. And we skipped weeks. We skipped weeks when things reopened for a little while. The Love Doctor, that's me, by the way. But the live stream has been running that long. I was going to say the Love Doctor live stream, but then I just sort of ran out of breath just going, I can't believe, like, we've been doing this online. I'm not giving you two a chance to speak. You're supposed to yell over me. I'm not. There we are. I've been attacked. How else am I going? If you two are not talking, how can I pour myself a drink? All right. So welcome everyone. Kaya, what did you think of the Trick or Tease?
It was amazing. I loved it. I'm so grateful that D'Lilah gave me the opportunity to participate, and like. Everything I saw was just great.
Oh. Well, I'm so grateful that you agreed to participate and got to share your talent with the world.
Thank you. For those who don't know, it was my first act, and D'Lilah was like, why haven't you submitted your act yet? And I was like, oh, no, I don't want to. But then I did.
I'm hearing a little bit of echo through D'Lilah at this point in time, so we're going to work and fix on that. So, that sounded better. No, I still hear myself. So we are. We're all right. I know there's more people out there than the people that have said hello. And that's 6 months, half a year. Cherry Top is it's done the math for us. 29 episodes is half a year of Love Doctor live streams. But you know what? We're going to power through. That echo is that echo not annoying anyone? If somebody's annoyed by that echo, let us know. But if you're not annoyed, we can power through because having D'Lilah here is just delightful, and I realize that the delightful. Yes, all right. Winona is saying it is a mystery echo, but I'm not hearing it now at this point, so that might make a difference. No, it's still
I
just
put my, yeah, no, not me.
no. It's coming through somebody. I'm just going to talk a little bit loud, just for a little bit, and I don't hear it now, and I would. That little bit of science just kind of made me think that it could be the lovely Wild D'Lilah. I don't mind it. I just, if anyone out there is bothered by it, let us know, please, and then we'll work on it, because this is fucking live. We want to hear from you. Say hello. Look, we're well into the double digits of people who are watching. We're almost up into our second deca person. Is it a deca person? What do you call a group of people? Score of people. Score of people is 2 deca persons, right? All right, we're not.
I have no idea. I'm already drunk.
Yes. Woo. All right, and I still haven't poured a drink, by the way. It's this is the drink tonight for people who recognize the label. Jimmy Fool is popping in saying beautiful, beautiful. The ladies look nice too. Oh, what a fucking charmer. There we are. Denny Leger says the sound sounds better now. So I think we've got it licked. I'm not hearing the echo. I don't hear my own voice in the echo. So D'Lilah, whatever it is that you did perfectly. Perfectly.
Thank you.
We're good here. Echo cancellation. So all right. So yeah, it is. I guess there was a little feedback loop in there. I'm still pouring this drink. I don't know why. I've had a lot of practice of pouring drinks. I don't know why it's taken me so long to pour this one, but it's
Are we
delicious.
making you nervous?
Oh, that must be it.
I mean, I know it's difficult to concentrate when you have D'Lilah and me right here.
Well, yeah, that's true. That is true. All right, and a score is 20. Yes, so 2 decas would be a 20, which would be a score. And if we're talking about weeks, a fortnight is 2 weeks. Why am I on math? Something happened and we were on math. I guess that might have been all that. So I have a nice. This is a good tonic. I still haven't had a bloody drink. That's probably part of the problem. So people can go over to slido.com. The event code is TLD29, and that's where that's why we were talking math. Because 29 and 29 weeks, or 29 episodes of Love Doctor Livestream, even though there was a couple little gaps in there. Cherry did the math to let us know that it was 6 months. And it's always fun to watch the guests flirt. You know what? There's
Comes naturally.
it comes naturally. It's easy to make me blush. And let's face it, if those two are flirting with each other, then that'll probably make the show a lot better. Sad old man face. There. We're all right. I just made it awkward. I'm just gonna pour the mix. So we do that. So there. All right.
So, D'Lilah, got any plans after this?
Sleep for a year.
Sleep. She's still catching up on the sleep. All right. So we have some questions in.
Hey, we need to say cheers first.
Oh. Sláinte.
And look me in the eyes, because I don't want 7 years of bad sex, okay?
Well, no one can look me in the eyes because I'm wearing sunglasses. I want.
You better be looking me in the eyes right now.
Sláinte, cheers. Here we are. Drinks up. There's no way that I wish bad sex on anyone. Even people I dislike. It's like, I don't. Just because I dislike them doesn't mean that I'm gonna wish that they don't experience joy at some point in their lives. So
If
are
anything, I
you?
would wish them more joy in sex because they clearly need it.
I don't wish bad sex on anyone except for my like 12 ex-boyfriends. That's it.
Just you're. Oh, you're young. That's why it's just 12. All right, but
I said boyfriends. I didn't mention the
boyfriends, not exes.
girlfriends.
Right.
That's another story.
That's another story. And that's another case. And by the way, for those of you watching, please remember to hit like, and also let us know where you're watching from. Most of the regulars I know, most of them are coming in from Montreal. Marianne, does anyone know Marianne? I'm welcome, Marianne. But we're here. We're gonna be bringing up the questions on there again. I just want to point out for trigger warnings because I've been told to do this. Any questions that you see written here are written by the people on the internet, and you know how trustworthy they are. So we welcome anonymous questions. If you have a question that you want to put into the chat, please put it into the chat because then we see who it is if it's not anonymous. But if you have an anonymous question, you can always go to Slido and do the event code TLD29, and that is how we get to see these. There, I thought I did that. Was it? There. It's just was a delay. Sorry for yelling in your ears. I made them put on earbuds, and I'm not. Like, they were very kind and actually did it for me. It's not a fetish or anything that I've asked them to put on earbuds. It's just kind of makes better tech for the show. I feel like I'm over explaining things at this point in time. D'Lilah, did you move your camera because this is it's a spectacular view. And I want to point out it's anytime you're on in frame, it is a spectacular view. And I gotta mention because fucking my manager, there's a link at the bottom. So if you could type that into another window, if you want to support the show, just a link a tree and it's /Paul Ash, and it says buy a drink at the top. That's my manager. He'll take care to make sure all the performers on screen here will get a share of any money that's donated for the show. And we have your questions here. So we'll start at do we start at I think we start at the top. It might be the bottom, but we'll start at the top anyways. Dear Love Doctor, I'm a giver in the bedroom. Good for you. All right, and I often put my lover's pleasure above mine. How do I bring up my needs to my partner? Politely. I personally I believe in being a giver as well, because you definitely, that is a sign of care and love if you take the time to shower your partner with that appreciation and physical appreciation. And if they just kind of shrug and go, oh, well, I'm done, and that's it. I think it is fine to ask, say, well, what about me? I'd like a little bit of help at that point, or demand, depending on the nature of the relationship. Kaya, what would your thoughts be?
Well, first of all, you deserve a spot in heaven. We love a giver, especially as a pillow princess. But I definitely agree with the Love Doctor. Just bring it up kindly and communicate your needs to the person. Say, hey, do you think maybe we can do this sometime? And you can maybe bring it up before getting into it so that you don't kind of have any sort of awkward moments that might occur. So
Coitus interruptus.
yeah, exactly. I mean, just communicating about it politely is always the best way to go about it, I think.
And D'Lilah.
I mean, you definitely want to try and figure out why they aren't volunteering to give it back. You know, maybe there's a deeper issue there that could be addressed. Or select your partners that you know are really into you, so that wouldn't become an issue.
Yes. I don't know. I think that a lot of people that don't give tend to be very selfish people in general and not just like in the bedroom. So that might tell you a lot about their character as well. So I agree with D'Lilah. They might just be a selfish person in general. And if they are, you kind of don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, there's a danger to being too giving in the bedroom, right? Because then if somebody gets used to it and it's something that they're just going to be expecting, and then there's the, you know, there's letting them down or something if you end up changing things up, and there's, yeah.
There's also the thing is like something I've encountered is if you tell your partner, oh, I have difficulty having an orgasm, but I enjoy the journey, then at some point they might just kind of check out and stop trying for you to have the orgasm, and it's kind of nice to have at least the fight or chance to. So again, it comes down to communication for what you are expecting, uh, and yeah, no, I'm gonna send Kaya a private question just to make sure I can say this on our. We're gonna go back to these. The next question is. All right, we're asking questions about.
I'm scared
I know
now.
that's
What am I?
weird.
Is it a
That
dick
one,
pic?
I'm not sure. Well,
Please
Is
no.
it? Well, then why would you only send it to Kaya, not to me?
it's because it's something that Kaya told me, but I didn't ask her if I could mention it on air. So, uh, so that question is off and away to
Where
her.
is it?
It's
Now
it's
I'm
right
curious.
it's right there in the private messages. I didn't know if I could mention that on air. Or
Oh, okay. Yes. So the question was, am I a registered sex therapist? So I'm not a sex therapist, but I'm a sex educator. So
sex
I give,
educator.
yeah, I give workshops in high school, university classes as well, about sex education.
All right, is that
Yeah.
so? We're just tossing out some qualifications because I usually get asked about my qualifications, and it's common sense is a lot of what I tell people is what I do. So we're going to go into the next question, which is really all about sex. Obviously, is why did people vote for Republican? Uh, uh, Delilah, do you want to take that one first?
I think a lot of people might not like my answer, but I would say it's because of privilege and selfishness.
I don't you know what I think the people who would dislike that answer are probably not the people who are tuning into here. So you say privilege and selfishness is the reason. Kaya, do you have an answer?
Um, yeah, so as a sociology student, I think Republicans are very good at manipulating people as well and making them believe that they need them in a lot of cases. I mean, yes, I definitely believe a lot of people who lean towards the right are very selfish and very individualistic, but I definitely do believe that in an American context, they manipulate people because they don't have the chance to get an education in a lot of cases, and they make them feel like you need us so that you can fulfill your American dream bullshit kind of thing. So it's a lot of
And when they be
manipulation
like us,
as well. Yeah.
yeah.
And this is all right. I've been trying. I always try to put myself into the place of other people, and with everything that's happened in the like last night and seeing the numbers today, I always try to figure out why people think the way they think, and you'll see. I can't though understand the mental gymnastics that some people will go through to say that the Democrats are like this deep state, uh, evil, corrupt group, and then in the next sentence say, "Oh, but they're communists who are destroying America." I don't know what level of mental gymnastics they have to do to convince themselves that both things could possibly be true at the same time. And on top of that, I don't. A lot of people are going out, are a lot of Republicans are defending themselves, saying, "No, I'm not racist for voting for Donald Trump." The thing is, if his racism doesn't bother you, you're supporting racism, and if you are supporting racism, that's fucking racist. All right,
Yeah.
and he is, yes. Delilah is perfectly correct that they are appealing to your baser needs or your basically making you try to think of yourself first. But that's not the point of a society. A society should be working together for the good of all. It's a society can be judged by how it treats its most unfortunate members.
I mean, look how many people died of COVID-19 because of Trump's irresponsibility, yet they're still voting for Trump. That's something that's so hard to comprehend.
Andrea Cochrane is saying, I wouldn't say it's mental gymnastics, more like mental laziness. It's the ability to hold two contradictory thoughts at the same time. Just well, I would like to say it blows my mind, but it probably I probably do the same. I have some blind spot in myself. So I guess it all happens to all of us. It's just that one seems so glaring to me. We're going for another question. Yes. All right. We're getting heads nodding. We're going up. Is Kaya Koko single? I think somebody has been put on the spot here. What's this? What's this love letter to Kaya Koko? Are you single? Do you care to answer that at this time?
Definitely. I'm super fucking single. Like singler than single. So yeah, hit me up on Instagram if you want to be my lover, you know? Yeah.
I just, the fact that you said super fucking single, all I could picture is you wearing a cape and nothing else. But it's, sorry, I guess we have the boys. You can watch the boys so you can watch super fucking. But yeah, you don't understand it either.
Yeah. No.
All right, and we've got Kaya Koko is blushing already. I think we're off to a good start on the show. Right. Woo! So,
girls, boys, non-binary people, hit me up. I'm fucking lonely. Thanks.
COVID. The COVID thirst is real. Have yourselves a drink at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get myself another one.
Oh, we're losing. But now we don't know. You're still there. But all right, Wild D'Lilah, do you want to put a call out while I put your Instagram up too? Or are you searching for dating?
Oh, I don't know. I've been single for so long now.
So we're basically
simpler this way.
Life is just simpler this way, is what you said?
Yeah, no drama. I don't want drama. So if somebody's like cool and fit, that's great. But I'm not about to change who I am as a person for someone. The last guy that I was recently seeing ended up telling me finally in this big blowout that he wanted to convince me to stop performing burlesque. And I was like, this is my thing, you know, it's like my raison d'etre. So like, I'm not going to change it for you. I've known you for like 5 weeks. Like, what's the big deal? It's crazy.
That's definitely another reason I'm single. I can't change who I am for somebody.
No.
I'll tell a bad dating story. I was using what is it called?
Tinder.
No,
Grindr.
It rhymes with "soke stupid." I was using
2007 kind of vibe.
Yeah, very very. It wasn't 2007. 2007 was.
You were like 12 in 2007.
I was 9.
Oh all right.
God.
I just got called trash by Winona. Cherry Top actually was adding in. It baffles me that he has 49% approval on how he handled the pandemic. Exactly. All right. I basically the wiggle room had been open, etc. But I was chatting with somebody there, but I hadn't yet decided whether or not to meet them. But they did some sleuthing because I'm kind of open on the internet for everything to find out about me. And so this person showed up at the wiggle room. And they were very complimentary to me. but they referred to burlesque as bad stripping. And I was like, you have no fucking clue. And that is so fucking
Wow.
disrespectful. I don't think I could talk to you. You're not, yeah,
Good
if
for
you can't
you.
respect this, then no, you don't respect what I do. So let's go on to the next question. Here we are. What is your pet peeve that you will not even try to have patience for? I think I just explained that one. Was that is that for people who are no, that's not true. Because if I encounter somebody who says something ignorant about something I love, I try to engage them and try to help them figure it out. Like to see that maybe their thoughts are in error and give them a chance to look at it from a different angle so they could see the why. And that's kind of a hope there. D'Lilah, what is your pet peeve that you will not even try to have patience for?
Willful ignorance. Somebody who recognizes that they could know more and chooses not to. They're just like, no, I'm perfectly happy being this mediocre person and I will never try and strive for better.
That is brilliant. Kaya.
I mean, aside from the obvious bigotry, my biggest pet peeve is people who say espresso instead of espresso, and I'm not going to tolerate it. This isn't a train station; it's a Starbucks. Okay, that gets it's my biggest. I'm sorry, it's like a deal breaker. It's like instant turn off. You said espresso.
All right, as long as you're mentioning Starbucks, it's medium, not grande, or whatever the fucking word is. Like if there's a small, a medium, and a large, that's what they are. It's the sizes.
Why is a grande a medium?
I actually, is it? Because I fucking guessed because I'm usually clueless in there.
I don't know how their numbers or their words work at Starbucks. I mean,
All right, 63 days. 63 days.
You out.
You're going to have to know. Mariam is saying facts. Facts, definitely. We're definitely, this is it. This is going to be the new battle lines we're drawing.
yes, you didn't have to
It's
mention
espresso,
it.
not espresso. So there we are. All right. So that's it. 63 days. You've now been educated. So you'll look at how it's written, and you'll understand. Think of how it's written when you go to say it. Please, 63 days. We need that little friendship. You two are just so beautiful tonight, and the laughs and the smiles. And I'm not one of those pricks that tells you to smile, but the fact that you were doing it naturally, I mean, you're both beautiful women, but you just light up so, and I'm privileged to be here.
We're privileged to be here with you too, Love Doctor.
We're very honored.
It's the contract you signed with the devil. That's all. You have to do your time.
Well, not the only one.
All right. I'm not sure what that meant, but I'm going to giggle and just go, yes. That's my. I live in a city where I don't speak the language, and so people will say something to me. If it sounds positive, just in tone wise, I'll go, "Oui." All right.
It's like they told you their mom died, and you're like, yeah.
That hasn't happened yet, but thank you for putting that in the back of my mind.
Right?
All right, what are you guys drinking? Here we have we've got an important question here. Kaya, you have the floor. What are you drinking tonight? It's in a nice. That's a champagne flute. No, it's not quite narrow enough.
I don't know what the hell this is. It was in my house, so I decided to use it. I'm pretending it's champagne, but it's just a cheap sparkling white wine from France. That's all.
Sparkling white wine from France. That's pretty nice. I'm not going to call it champagne because I don't need the hate mail, but sparkling white wine is fantastic. D'Lilah, you are being a very Canadian. What?
Actually, I am part of a hoe garden.
Oh, so that's not even Canadian. The way you said whole garden just made it way more sexier than any whole garden ad I've ever seen. That's brilliant.
Can I join you in my hoe garden?
there's something I'd like to tell. There is. I still do not have sponsorship, and the people I was hoping would sponsor me, I went to the SAQ, they didn't have it, so we have that there. There's so I'm drinking this stuff. I don't know if I should have flashed the label. I'm doing gin with a little fever tree tonic, and this is the what is it? Oh, the Mediterranean tonic. I usually go with the yellow label, but I got the light blue label this time. But it's quite delicious. So that's what we are drinking this time. We have Trick or Tease is saying gentlemen prefer blondes. The Hogarden is a blonde. Why there we go. We blocked out D'Lilah and not me. Now we're blocking out me. This is the proper way to see these ads. Is get this ugly mug off the face. Get this ugly
Why
mug
is
off
Trick or
the face.
Tease talking to me? I don't understand. Trick or Tease?
Yeah, you are a big portion of Trick or Tease, but I think you do have a producing partner who may have access.
Jimmy.
There we are.
He knows that look. Don't worry. He's gotten it a million times.
All right. The next question. You know what? We're going on the wrong way. The top is actually supposed to be the bottom, so we missed a bunch of questions. Should we go down to them now, or should we do these two and then go down?
The top one's kind of juicy, so maybe we should save that for after.
All right. So let's go down to the bottom. Is Dear Love Doctor, why are they replacing all the strong male roles in movies and TV with women roles?
Wow. First of all, shame on you for even asking that question.
All right. D'Lilah is stepping up to the bat on this one.
Maybe we should have a better question, like why were so many strong female roles cast into male roles when they didn't need to be over, dozens of years.
And Jason McCullough likes to say he does what he wants.
Yeah, sure he does.
All right. Do you have more to add to that?
No, nothing that I say is going to be very nice.
All right. Kaya.
I'm just laughing at that because I could just go like that to your fucking testicles and you'll probably fall down to the floor. So I don't know what the fuck you're trying to say. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, that's great.
I mean, come on. Like, I was watching Fleabag, and one of the characters was saying that women are like innately feel pain. Like it's always with us. We feel pain from our periods. Well, not to say that like, if let's say I'm talking in a way that's kind of like, okay, how do I put this? I mean, not all women have periods, but like the whole idea that like we carry pain throughout our whole lives and all that, we're used to it. And then like men are there saying that we're like the weak ones. What the fuck is that? No. But yeah, anyways, it's just funny. When I saw that, I was like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Jason is saying, well, D'Lilah is the correct one. I'm gonna not in reference to that question in control as the producer of the Trick or Tease. If I can add anything to that, I think a lot of the incel-esque. I'm gonna say incel-esque because not all are full-blown incels, even though they might not realize that they're being influenced by incel thoughts or incel propaganda. Are saying that there's all these strong women in roles in TV and in movies that traditionally should have been men. It's only because you're seeing a shift slightly, and it's not the majority of the roles. Still, if you look at everything that has come out, if you take a look at say Marvel, even Marvel has like 2 female superheroes, and they only made the movie for one of them after DC had their best movie with a female lead superhero. It's time. If we go all the way back to say the Salem witch hunts, go all the way back there, right? Do you think everybody who was saying like we got to burn these women was doing it because they believed in witchcraft. No, they were doing it because they wanted to silence female voices. And unfortunately, the propaganda that was spread even before then that led to that is still existing in our world today. And the fight for feminism is the fight for equality. And it doesn't fucking matter the gender of the hero, if they're the right hero for the role when you're looking at movies and TV.
Yeah, and the fact that that question even came up demonstrates how ingrained it is into our society that women are considered lesser than or shouldn't have that equal footing. So if you're asking that question to yourself, then take this time to wonder what else you might be missing and sort some shit out. Wow.
And let's move on to the next question is, do you recommend the Diva Cup? That is, I'm an odd one to ask that. I believe in recycling, but I'll leave this to the other experts who are here. If we want to go with that, Kaya's just chomping at the bit to go. So Kaya, whoops, what is? That's not the one.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it to anybody who has a vagina and a uterus. I've been using the Diva Cup for 6 years. Literally the best thing I've ever bought myself. You're going to save money, you're going to save the environment, and you're going to save your cootie cat. Because honestly, tampons, for me, feel like shit. Pads feel like shit. I'm just really fucking uncomfortable when I have pads and tampons. But the Diva Cup, you put it in, you don't even feel it. You can go about your daily life, not worry about bleeding all over the place. And it's just like, great. I love it. You set it and you forget it for 12 hours. I don't see why you wouldn't get it. Well, I understand if you're uncomfortable with it, but I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I've never used it, but I had a conversation with Kaya Koko about this yesterday, and she was telling me that I definitely should get one. So I was like, I don't know, but maybe I will just try it and see what happens.
It definitely doesn't hurt, especially if your hymen is already stretched. Okay, the first time it really hurt because my hymen was intact the first time I put one in, okay? So I was not sexually active. I didn't do gymnastics. So that the first time it fucking hurt. But like, if you've already stretched your hymen, then you should be okay. It won't hurt at all. Just need to clarify that part because they don't tell you that.
Well, I'm definitely not a virgin, so let's not.
Yeah, you could be a virgin who's had it stretched too, right? So
I have a little bit of an odd story. So just remember to do proper cleaning, etc. Because I was dating a woman who had a daughter who went to clean her Diva Cup with boiling water on the stove, but forgot. And so boiled the water out of the pot. And, well, all right, she needed a new Diva Cup. But there is...
The Diva Cup just like exploded in your face.
I wasn't there at the time, but it did ruin a pot, and I believe she did need. Is that Lily behind you? Lily is. I thought you because you said you weren't going to put the feather boa on, and then I saw the fur behind Wild D'Lilah, and I was like, oh, that boa is moving on its own. That's Lily. Internet.
That's Lily.
Let's introduce the internet to Lily, the fantastic Lily.
My
all
7-month-old Yorkie.
Lily. I love Lily.
During Trick or Tease, Lily provided all the dog sound effects in every one of the sketches. So there we are.
True.
And, yeah, Winona saying to remember to boil or simmer at a low heat with your Diva Cup. Something the woman inside dating daughter sort of forgot, but
I remember you can use antimicrobial soft soap on it to clean it throughout your period.
I'm just being shut up on this topic as well. I like the idea of being good for the environment. Hagar Dolch, Hagar. I'm sorry very much if I'm mispronouncing your name. But lots of love. I'm not sure if that's for the Diva Cup or for Lily. I think it might be for Lily, but maybe for both as well. Jason McCullough saying, "Little Pooh, she ravaged the city." Yes, yes, she ravaged the
Yes, she
city.
did.
And that sketch was saved, by the way. I believe everyone, the producers are aware. All right. So now to go back to the questions we have there is, why did people vote Republican? We did there. So let's go back all the way. Can someone
Dirty
post
dog
me some
poutine.
dirty dog poutine? There we are. I think that's where we're at. We did the what you guys are drinking. Can someone post your dirty dog poutine? I don't know what the postage would be there and I don't know how far it is. So Anonymous is asking us to put some dirty dog poutine into the mail for them. Which poutine? Oh, and Hagar's making clarification that the smile with the hearts is for Lily and the Diva Cup.
Hi, Ajar.
Hajar, is that the proper pronunciation? Kaya?
Of
No,
course.
of course. All right. Just leaving me hanging there for a little while. All right. So, Anonymous, I don't know what your mailing address is. If you want to PM me, let me see how far away it is. I don't think Dirty Dog Poutine, even if you did the mac and cheese poutine from Dirty Dog, I don't know how well that would travel in the mail. Definitely not, the other one would not travel well. Could you imagine that? Leaking out onto everyone else's parcels that are being sent. That greasy gravy that goes with the poutine. All right, the
Dirty
next
dog.
question.
I don't think I've ever heard of dirty dog before.
Dirty Dog, there's one not far from the Wiggle Room. It's down just below Pine on Saint Laurent. And there's another one at Mount Royal, just a little bit east of Saint Laurent as well.
I mean, fuck me if I'm wrong, but I think Dirty Dog is not like the best poutine, but that's just my humble opinion.
It's everybody has their choices, but everyone misses different things when they live in different places. Like, I lived in Halifax for a long time, and I missed Donairs, and I have no conscious reason as to why I should be missing Donairs, but that is something I miss about having been in that city. All right, is being the person someone cheats on someone else with, think the other woman, ever okay or ever wrong? D'Lilah, you're in the hot seat at this point. Do you, or Kaya, do you want to take it first? Who wants this one first? I'll take it first. There we are. Just,
yes, go ahead.
seeing the faces there. Look, all we want to be, all I'm asking other people, and all I try to be, is try to be kind to everybody else. If I'm having a relation with somebody and I do not know that they're cheating on somebody else, I don't feel that I have done the wrong. If I know that somebody is cheating, or even if I understand, or I think I've been told it's an open relationship, etc., then I don't feel that I've done anything wrong. But if I've been told that, all right, I'm just gonna. One of the common questions I get as the Love Doctor is, how can I cheat on my spouse? And the answer is to be an asshole. Or how can I cheat on my partner? To be an asshole. That's how it is. Even people in open relationships may have boundaries. And if you're not informed of them while you're with that person, you're not responsible for any cheat that is happening. But if you are aware of them and you're consciously going out to do this, you're consciously doing harm. Just like the people who are voting for Trump, despite knowing or realizing that he's a fucking racist. So, yes, we all can do wrong, and we can all feel sorry for it and try to be better in the future. If this is something that you've done, don't beat yourself up over it. Just endeavor to be better in the future. Kaya,
I mean,
just throw it to you just like that. Just fuck it. I'm dropping the mic and handing it over to you.
It's like when people make me hold their babies, and I'm like, please don't do that. I don't like babies. You know, this is the thing. I find we often place more blame on the other woman rather than on the actual cheater, which bothers me a little bit. I definitely don't think it's not the kindest thing to know that someone's in a relationship and then continuing to have an affair with them. But at the end of the day, I think we tend to blame the other woman a lot more than the actual cheater when the cheater is the person who is in that relationship. And that's my opinion. I really think there's underlying hints of like sexism in that because it often happens that way. But yeah, definitely if you don't know, how the fuck can anyone blame you, right? Like you're not realizing that you're hurting anyone. And even if you do know, like, yes, it's not very kind and considerate, but at the end of the day, I would place more responsibility on the person who's actually violating their own relationship.
Sorry, and Cherry Top had popped in there with, if you don't know, it's not your fault. I definitely agree. And the thing is, if there's people who take advantage of the idea of that people are aware of polyamory or open relationships or etc. And that is the type. They'll if they take advantage of that, that is a very real possibility, and that's something to be aware of. D'Lilah, do you have something you wish to add?
Well, I definitely agree with Kaya Coco that more blame should be placed on the cheater for sure. But I have had some friends in the past that were the other woman that knew that they were the other woman and that felt like it was okay, like they wanted to do it and would actually badmouth the girlfriend and stuff behind her back. And I found it really difficult to be friends with this person afterwards because I was like, there's really low integrity there. Like it just made me feel kind of like that's not okay. You know, if you are well aware, you know the other person, and you're still going out of your way to do that, I think that you should really take a hard look at yourself and try and realize, like, why are you so willing to do that and not caring about other people's feelings? You know, if the guy that you're cheating with or girl that you're cheating with, um, you know, if that person who's in a relationship is so willing to cheat on their lover or their girlfriend or boyfriend, then what does that say about them as well, you know?
Exactly. Is that the quality of type of person you quality of type? Is that the quality of person you would like to be dating? Is the
Yeah.
thing. And on top of that, I want to stress like that was obviously if the person knew and they were bad mouthing the other person. First off, in participating in that, you are prolonging the pain for yourself if you are searching or hoping to get a solid relationship that is yours, that isn't secret. If you're prolonging their pullout from forgive the pun, the pullout from their relationship, because if they're unhappy in the relationship and they just seek extramarital or extra relations. I don't know. I think I used relations in two different ways when I said that. But if they use that as an excuse to not leave or fix the relationship because they're being happy because they're being served on both sides, then you are basically going to compound the pain they're going to feel when if the relationship eventually does end because they are not respecting the relationship, and the poor person who is being cheated on, they don't have a chance to go out and find somebody who would be more true to them in the type of relationship style that they want, and that is there. Cherry's also saying cheating can also happen in open relationship and polyamory, and I fully know that. And when I was saying that, I'm saying when people are lying about the status of the relationship to say
How
it's
does that
open
work,
or it's
though?
okay.
Can I ask that? Because that's a really interesting note that Terry Top mentioned that cheating can happen in an open relationship or polyamory. Under what conditions would that happen? Can I just ask that question?
Well, if okay, I'll jump on this one first. When you have an open relationship, you can define the parameters. Like to have a relationship that is you can have an emotionally monogamous open relationship. So that means the only person you really love is your partner, but sex is something that you can have elsewhere. You can have a polyamorous relationship that is closed on several angles, like or completely. You could be like a triad or a quad of people who only are dating among themselves. And that if somebody decides to go and have relations outside of that while lying to the other three people in it, that in itself, that is cheating. Cherry's putting it in. It's all about communication and honesty. Someone could still be lying about another relationship that they're having, and that's basically what it is. You can't just say to somebody, "I'm having a polyamorous relationship," without being able to do the follow up, give the follow up on the status of it exactly, and be able to answer. And even if somebody gives you that, make sure you're comfortable with the responses they give.
Yeah.
And Winona's saying, if you break the rules, that's you. If you break the rules that you and your partner has set up.
I can give a clear example of that. I was in an open relationship for 2 years, and my ex made out with my best friend in front of me. That was a complete violation. Like, we said nobody close to our friend circle or anything. So that, even though we're in an open relationship, and I was like, yes, go around, fuck a lot of people. I'm cool with it. Like, the making out with my best friend in front of me was a no-no. And he crossed that boundary.
And that's what it is. It's when the borders of the relationship, you can't just go to your partner and say we're having an open relationship without having that discussion to what it is. And I think that is one of the situations in society that people don't have a greater awareness of, and it is about communication. So we can work with communication, and I just love this sound when I did it, so I'm redoing it. All right, I'm pouring myself another drink.
Oh, I gotta get my third beer.
All right. D'Lilah, was that helpful to you as well?
Yes, thank you so much for explaining that. I've never been in an open relationship before, so I really wasn't sure, but it's always been something that's been interesting to me. So it's good to know that I have such a great surrounding that can teach me all about it.
It's so interesting because people think of open relationships and they think it's going to be an easier option, and it really isn't. It actually involves so much more communication and transparency, I find.
Most definitely, it is it's a lot of work. Relationships are a lot of work, but and communication is key to all relationships. But the fact that they're like, all right, can I do a rant? Do you guys mind if I jump on a rant? For this, is this
After
does
you.
anyone mind? Anyone that's out there that has want to add or subtract or yell at me for some of this, please do so. I want to point out. All right, I'm gonna take this. I believe nature has balance, and I'm gonna start with that to say that nature has balance. I say that because I like to point out that in the Kinsey report they said 10% of all people are born gay. And it's a nature. These are scientists who studied it for a long time. They said 10% of all people are born gay. I believe because nature has a balance that only 10% of all people are born straight. Everybody else is somewhere on a sliding scale, where they are, where they question their identity, at what point they feel, and that's why I have I do my best to try to be correct with genders and orientations as much as possible, but I just want people to be who they are. And I'm sorry if I ever make any accidental assumptions about somebody just by how I perceive them. I want to respect you as a person. Now, at the same time, when it comes to relationship, I believe some people are wired to be monogamous and some people are wired to be polyamorous. And that's okay. That's just okay as well. There's a lot of societal pressure, though, kind of clumping most people towards monogamy, and they're being taught that monogamy is the only way, or that is the main way, and anything else is wrong. And I'd like to challenge that thought to tell people that that is not right. It's as long as everyone is communicating and they're loving and they're respecting their partner or partners, then it is a good relationship. And anyone who is outside of that and points at that relationship and says, no, that is wrong and that's deviancy, they're the fucking true deviants. because they're more concerned with what other people are doing in the privacy of their own home than they are with what's happening in the rest of the world. And that's my rant. Just
Good run. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of the times it's just a means of control and power. And yeah,
We can
just need to
definitely
live
go.
in that
Yeah. We can definitely go on a rant about toxic monogamy culture if you want. Maybe for another time.
maybe for another time. Again, it comes down to the societal expectations that are forced upon people or taught to people before they have the chance to discover for themselves how they feel in general. And that's the thing is if a child is let to grow up, right, among people that respect is a main thing, then they will find the boundaries of what feels good for them. And so much pain is caused by people who are enforcing thoughts and regulations on them. All right, we're good. How's everybody out there doing? Give a chime in. We got Cherry Top is saying you and I will have a longer conversation about that one day, about monogamy and polyamory. Cherry Top, I do hope so. I believe. I think the greatest stress is when somebody who's hardwired to be monogamous it tries to be in a relationship with somebody who's polyamorous, and that would cause pain to the monogamous person and potentially to the polyamorous person because they are not being understood. And Cherry Top, can I join you for a very special episode? It sounds like I'm gonna have some people jump in and tell me. Winona, all right, we're the same person in two different bodies.
Hey, I want to be part of this too. Okay.
Well, you're right here right now, so you can jump on me and anything that you think. Well,
I can
you're
jump
on
on me
top
and all
right
I
now.
heard. And yeah.
So there's a lot of cushion. So if you do jump on me, it's nice and soft. So
Don't
but
tempt me.
if you have, all right, James McCullough is tired, but happy. He's but happy. There we are. Is there something in what I had said that you wish to add or correct or have a discussion about at this point?
I mean, I'm sorry. I'm a sociology student, so I'm going to be annoying about this. I find it's difficult to say whether something is innate or not. So I don't know if I necessarily would agree with okay, people are innately either monogamous or polyamorous. I really believe that we're socialized in certain ways. But definitely, I mean, some people are more comfortable with one thing and more comfortable with the other, and that's perfectly fine. It's super valid. There are pros and cons to like both ways of being, and I think you just need to find someone who's on the same page as you when it comes to that.
Yeah, as long as you're true to yourself, like you're doing it because you truly feel it and not because you're supposed to be that way. You know?
Exactly.
And that is my point. Some people, I believe that how you view relationships, part of that is innate in you. I know that you're the sociologist in you is saying that that's the social construct. But there are people I think who feel more comfortable one way or the other. Because why would, if somebody has been raised with nothing but monogamy being pushed into them, why would they feel so uncomfortable if they can't be polyamorous? Right. And again, I go with nature having a balance. There's some people who are naturally polyamorous. And here we go. Cherry on top. Mariam likes the idea of jumping as well. So do I. So we're going to have to make the polysode episode happen. We will get a poly panel. You heard it here first for everyone out there who is thinking about watching. Please do so. Make sure that you're liking the channel. Make sure you like right over there. There's a little like button. Press the like button. I'm being distracted by D'Lilah, but if you look at the down lower, yes, D'Lilah.
When you're doing the panel, make sure that there's some that are poly and make sure that there's some that are monogamous, so you guys can have, try and convince each other the other way is the best way, and just see like what kind of arguments come out.
I don't think either way is the best way.
No, me neither. I mean, it's whatever is good for them, but it's that's
Yeah.
what's gonna help people frame their arguments as to like why they feel that that way is best suited for them.
Perfect. All right, cherry on top says cherry on top. Cherry top, sorry, cherry on top is another great performer from Vancouver, British Columbia. A shout out across Canada to that cherry on top. Time for another question. You notice we haven't gone to the vault yet. I think that's fantastic. So please look. You know what? I made a call for people to hit the like button, and no one has. You're watching on Facebook, YouTube. There's Twitch. There's somebody watching us on Twitch. Believe it or not, they're watching us on Twitch. They can hit like. So hit like. We're covering all the big bases here. What is the next question? How do you bring up the conversation about kinks with a new partner before you get to the moment? That's got to be my quick answer on that. Kaya, you are in the hot seat. You're going to take this first.
I'd say at the dinner table with family would be the best time for me, at least. That's probably, but that's just the kind of person I am. No, but I mean, you can mention it, I think, as early as you want to, but it's all about not imposing your kinks. For me personally, I wouldn't necessarily mention them on the first date, but maybe after like 2-3 weeks, I'll talk about it when we're not in a sexual context and say, "Hey, I'm into this. Are you maybe into it as well? Would you like to try it? If not, that's perfectly fine." Don't impose your kinks on people, but feel free to talk about what you enjoy.
And I would second on that about not doing it in the heat of the moment. Most definitely. Did I do a phrasing? Another fucking phrasing issue? All right. So yeah, there is. I gotta watch my tongue. Yeah, there is. You definitely want to make sure that it's a discussion before you engage in those ways. I believe even before you're dating, if you're being friendly with somebody, if you're open about your kinks, that is kind of a safer rather than getting close to someone and then having them go ooh or
Is there
whatever.
sound cutting off, or am I crazy?
We're just a second. Let me hear. You were getting a little bit of feedback from D'Lilah again, but if so, what I would say is definitely making sure that you are you're kind of clear in a friendly way first to give them an idea. There is a difference between fetish and kink, obviously, but please make sure. Yeah, you sometimes also don't want to invest time starting a relationship to just have somebody reject you because of your tastes. And D'Lilah.
Yeah, I'm terrible at this actually. Because I'm so afraid of falling for someone who's not going to be into what I'm into, I end up saying a lot too soon, and in a way where I'm just like, okay, if you're not into it, it's a deal breaker kind of thing. Um, and I guess what I do a lot of the times is I'll just be like, here, why don't you read my book first, figure out if you're okay with it, and then we can go on a date. And it's worked a couple of times. I've had some pretty great dates with people who have read my book and been like, okay, cool. Like, I completely understand where you're coming from. I understand your past and all of that stuff and the things that I'm not supposed to do because it's like pretty explicit. But, you know, it does limit the number of dates that I'll go on. But I guess that's better than going on dates with people who might not connect. I don't know. I can actually use some advice on this.
What Kaya says at least start the relationship so you start the emotional connection. I'm saying
Not
don't get hurt with
necessarily.
it. Well,
I mean, you mean the relation? Well, not like into the relationship, but in the sort of seeing each other phase. You don't have to be on the first date like, "Hey, I want you to call me daddy." like you don't necessarily have to do that on the first date, you know.
But then how do you know, like, what happens if you're, let's say, on the third date and you really like this person and you tell them what you're into, and that's when they're like, wow, like, I would never be into that. You should have told me that sooner. And you kind of feel like you've wasted both of your time? Like, at which
Mhm.
point would it be the best time to just be upfront and say it? Because it's not something that I'm ashamed of. It's something that I'm like, this is who I am. This is what I need, and this is, this kind of dynamic that can be
Mhm.
so fun and interesting with somebody if they're into it. Like, to me, it's just like I don't even want to go on that date unless I know that you're somebody that can be that person for me. Like, is that wrong?
I don't think that's wrong. I think you're saving time and also potential emotional hurt. Because if you start making an emotional investment into somebody and then get that level of rejection
Hmm.
by something that, and I, again though, I'd like to point out there's a difference between kink and fetish, and a fetish is something you need, while a kink is something you enjoy.
Mhm.
And if you could classify which is which, for you, then that kind of makes a difference. Winona is saying, I could totally tell a person to call me daddy on the first date. That's Winona. You are a lovely daddy, and I'm not taking that back. Jason is saying, lay it on the table right away. It's like you're playing cards. Just, well, I've got this
Yeah.
this
Like, this is who
desire.
I am. Take it or leave it. I mean, why hide it? But at the same time, then I have a situation where, let's say, I went on a date with a guy, and I wanted to see if he was capable of doing something that I really liked, right? So I was like, okay, I'm going to give you the chance right now, and you are going to choke me. And he was like, okay, and he did it, and he did it so well, and I was so into it, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I was like, how did you feel about that? And he was like, neutral. And that to me was such a turnoff. I was like, well, if it's neutral for you, that's kind of like embarrassing for me, where it was like, I don't want to be with somebody who's just going to be like, yeah, I'll do it because you like it, but I don't really care about it. Like, I want to be with somebody who's like super into it and we can be into it together, like create that kind of dynamic. But my issue with that is if I would have allowed a relationship to progress first, would he have then been more into it, knowing who I was on a deeper level, and would we have been able to connect in that way further if it was later on? But then I have another situation where I was with somebody for 3.5 years, and the first 6 months he was my master, and he was amazing at it. We had set rules. I mean, it was absolutely perfect. I was so giddy every time that I would see him, and after 6 months, we fell in love, and it became a real relationship. And then he was like, I can't do that to you anymore because now I love you. And so we spent the next 3 years together not being able to do that because he immediately created that boundary. So I was like, okay, so I started the relationship exactly where I needed it to be, but it ended up being very soft and vanilla, which wasn't okay with me. And it was constantly eating away at me and was the inevitable end of the relationship. So it's like, do we start it early? Do we start it late? Like, it's so hard to tell if there's a single rule or if it's just a go with the flow kind of situation.
Yeah, I don't think there's a clear formula. Like, even I said, okay, I wait a bit, 2, 3 weeks, but maybe sometimes if I feel comfortable, I'll mention it on the first date, things like that. The thing is, in general, I don't talk much about sex on the first date explicitly entirely. So that's why I really, yeah, I don't think there's a specific date like, oh, you have to tell them on the third weekend, like the second day of the month and blah.
That
You
sounds
know?
like those advice books from the 1950s.
On the
E-
Exactly.
full moon.
MF is saying, I wouldn't be ashamed of what I like, but I would wait a bit just to create that bond to avoid awkwardness at first. The other thing I'd like to point out is for a little while, I dated a masochist, and it's not my thing to be full on sadist. I mean, I like some things like a little bit of a spanking, a little bit of choking, whatever. But the thing is, I did my best to appease her, but at one point, like it came to hell. I think anytime that you're selecting a partner, it should be somebody that you're interested in seeing pleasured, whether depending on what their pleasures are. She took off the sweater again, so now it's just all right. I'm
We're
distracted.
hot.
Uh, yes, you
Whew.
are. Yes, you most definitely are. Both of you are. But that's the thing is you want to have somebody who's invested in seeing your pleasure, who you're invested in seeing pleased as well, and that is the cycle, or people. Sorry, not to be mononormative on this. That is the cycle to a good relationships. And sex is the fact that everybody should be interested in everyone else's pleasure, not just taking, and not just giving. Because if you're only giving, eventually you're going to become bored. And that's what I believe. And I'm not saying that's a rock hard rule, but no one's disagreeing with me at this point.
Yeah.
All right.
So something that I tend to do at the beginning, instead of just saying straight up like this is what I like and this is it, is I'll like make little jokes or slide in like a weird little anecdote or something and see the person's reaction. And if the reaction is very like I'm just like, okay, well, it's probably not going to work out. I'm not even going to mention it. But if the person's like really into it or they make a joke back or something, then it feels a lot more open and comfortable, and then I'll be more likely to share about my kinks and fetishes and all that stuff. So yeah, like making weird jokes and poems, putting them in there.
If they display a knowledge, that's the other thing. Most every kink out there has some kind of special language, and if you use that language and they pick up on it, then they're at least aware of it.
Yeah, I love that.
Where we are going on to the next question is all right, yeah, that is lined up. I saw a news show once where a woman got toxic shock syndrome from a tampon. Turns out the tampon contained an ingredient used in rat poison. My question is, how in the world could such a substance be allowed in a product that goes inside a woman's most sensitive area? I have a logical answer on that. Or does anyone want to take that first?
I was just gonna sing a riff from a James Brown song. It's a man's world. It's a man's world. A lot of these things just aren't created by women for women. So what the hell do they even know?
Kaya.
I definitely second what D'Lilah says. But if we look at it, a lot of products that have been made just shouldn't be used by humans. Like, who the fuck made some of these things, And then we find out later, oh yeah, like we're all gonna get cancer because of this. Like, great, my microwave's gonna give me cancer.
All right, just here he is. Miriam is saying, "Yikes! A lot of things. All right, everything in this world is poison. Just so we're all on. Even sugar is a poison. Everything is a poison. It's just the amount that is consumed. I remember when the stories about the toxic shock syndrome first were coming out. It had to do with the fact that I think the person who had the woman in the news story had left it in for a week. And that's the thing. So there is a certain level of chemicals in things like formaldehyde is in vaccines. And so that's what anti-vaxxers will point to. Oh, look, it's poison. No, it's a holding agent, right? And just a little bit of it is not going to hurt you. It's ingesting large amounts of it, or say replacing all your bodily fluids with formaldehyde. That's bad. But that usually only happens after you're dead. A lot of things can be poison. Caffeine is a poison. The reason spicy food is spicy and heats up your tongue is because it's a poison, right? That's your body's reaction to saying, don't eat that. That was the natural defense of that plant to tell you to stop eating it. But it releases endorphins, so people want that experience again. And if you never ever notice that you're eating spicy food and you need to get spicier and spicier food, that's because you're building up. The Kaya is an example of that, is because you've built up a resistance to that level of spice, and which is that level of poison. Dear God,
I'm Korean, okay?
We
eat spicy food all the time.
Which we sort of get from your there's a bit of a hint there in your Instagram.
You Korean?
Love it.
We are.
I guess weed is the same thing, right? It's like the toxin in the plant that's supposed to help defend it from being consumed that ends up intoxicating us. But then we do that.
Can the sex educator Kaya come out for a second?
Yes.
I want to reassure people, toxic shock syndrome, although extremely serious and can be fatal, it's pretty rare, but please still change your tampons every 4 to 8 hours. You can go 8, but make sure you get a tampon with the right absorbency level for your flow. But I want to reassure you, a lot of people will try to scare you away from tampons, especially people who are like, it's gonna take your virginity. But like, in general, TSS is extremely rare, but please be sure to change your tampons as you should.
Most please, yes, and that was the case in that, because I remember, I'm old. I remember the news story. It was somebody had left it in like a fucking week. Jason McCullough is saying too much of anything is bad. Too much water, you drown, and that's considered essential to life. So there we are. Well, it's all right. I was about to say I belong on the bottom of this, but that was not what I meant. All right, here we go with, let's see, another question. What is your favorite fast food place or food? Why? And would like to include it in the bedroom. Kaya, you're in the hot seat.
Okay. With this question, I feel like I need to dissect it a little bit.
Do you need to read it again, or do you want me to read it to you?
Was it like, what is my favorite food or regular food? And then do I want to incorporate in the bedroom?
It's what's your favorite fast food place or food? Why is that? I guess why is it your favorite? And would you sorry, and would like, I think this should be, and would you like to ever include it in the bedroom?
Okay, you know, this is actually really funny because I was asking this to my friends because that's so weird. One of my teachers told us to tell him what our favorite food was and to describe why it's our favorite food. And he said that what we say describes how we view sex. And my favorite food is pho because I find it warm and comforting and filling. So I was like, oh, wow. And I have a piece of like lipstick on my tooth right now. So yeah, my favorite food is pho, but I kind of don't want to burn myself too much. So I don't think I would bring it into the bedroom personally. It's also just not the sexiest food in my opinion, but I do love ASMR. So if you want to eat in front of me, I'll definitely enjoy that. Whenever my classmates eat something, I'm like, this is so nice. And then when they stop eating, I'm like, put that sandwich back in your mouth. But no, not in the bedroom. Sorry.
D'Lilah.
That's great. That's so great. Pho is one of my favorite things. I actually have a pho tattoo. From my time in Vietnam, because I taught English there. But I stopped eating mammals. It's been like 2 months. So it's still very new. But I can't eat pho anymore. And it makes me sad.
You could have vegetarian pho.
Yeah, but the broth is slow cooked bones for like 12 hours. How would they make that?
I'll give you the name of a very good vegetarian pho place. I would say it now to promote them, but I forgot the name.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
All right. So we're going to have to answer that question for months. We'll do that in the comments afterwards for those who are watching on YouTube or Facebook. So, but D'Lilah, what is your favorite food?
My favorite fast food?
It said, what's your favorite fast food place or food? There, yeah.
I'm so bad. I'm such a foodie. I love everything. I get into these like pockets of like obsessions. So, like right now, it's Mexican food, and I will cook like the most ridiculous, like fajitas, and I'll have that 5 days a week until I'm sick of it, and then not want to eat it for the next year. I'll just move on to the next thing. So it's like, but no, I'm not really into bringing food into the bedroom because I feel like the messiest thing.
Oh, your mic cut out there for just a little bit. We
Oh,
heard the messiest.
the messiest thing should be me.
All right, that's a great description. I'm. Oh, jeez. Favorite food. Uh, I love foods with good texture. I like to feel food on my tongue. I mentioned Halifax.
Oh,
Oh my God, Kaya, you're so fun.
All right. She's disappointed now. But definitely Halifax. I have this thing called a donair, which is salty and sweet at the same time, and it's just delicious and creamy. And it comes wrapped in a pita, so you sort of have to kind of eat your way into it. It's a fantastic food. I would never have that in the bedroom. I'm not. I understand people who like splooshing. I understand people love food play, etc. I just the idea of sugar going to places where it shouldn't go sort of turns me off. It's also the mess factor. The mess factor can also be adjusted for people who get like hotel rooms for the night. If you're not cleaning up those sheets, doesn't matter. But the donair sauce has a lot of sugar in it. Are either of you aware about donair sauce? I lived in Halifax for a number of years, and I learned the recipe, and I'm sad that I learned the recipe for what donair sauce goes into donair sauce.
I'm not very aware of donair sauce, but I will say, as a word of caution, be aware that yeast loves sugar. So you
Yes.
might not want to keep it in the cootie cat area if you don't want the yeast infection to blow up one day.
That is my one of my major reasons why I don't like including food play. But if it's something that you really enjoy, go ahead and enjoy it. Sperm has glucose too. Welcome, Vance. Vance Michel is a great.
Well, we got to
comedian.
keep that out of the area too, don't we?
Yeah,
I
you definitely want to keep
have
the
a
sperm out of it.
sweet tooth, honey.
Sperm is type sweet. Yo. All right. The King of Donair. The King of Donair. That's a different spelling than they do it in Halifax. And it's not related to the same Greek donor or donor that you might have experienced elsewhere. But the recipe for the Nova Scotia Donair sauce is equal parts condensed milk, unsweetened condensed milk, and brown sugar, and then just enough vinegar to curdle it.
I
That's
feel like
the
I've
sauce.
had donair. I've had donair, but only in Vietnam. They had like stations.
All right, Kaya's gonna come back in a moment. We are out of questions. We've been here. Holy crap! We're like an hour and 25 minutes in, and there's only 4 likes. What are you people doing? Make sure you hit the like button. If we don't hit the like button, then people don't discover us. We're not loved by the internet. You have to show a little bit of love on us. Vance Michel is a Montreal-based comic who's going to be moving out to British Columbia. The scene will miss him here, but please, everyone, give a lot of love to Vance Michel. Sorry. And Akil Aline said, and no, I'm not the guy. There's more pity. I don't. Where did? Oh, sorry. Akil is just laughing aloud at the choking story. I maybe there's a little bit of delay going out there, but he says he's not the guy. So
No, he's actually best friends with the guy, and I actually met him through the guy. And now we tell that choking story at parties.
Yes, there's if you ever get a chance to see the comedian Darren Henwood, tell him about a follow-up story to his story of coming to Canada. He's a Scottish comic, and he's all right despite that, but he has a story about coming to Canada and what happened with him and the security at the airport. It's bouncing onto the bed. Kaya, you're still muted, but all right.
Actually, I'm gonna take my leave now too. I'm gonna leave my headphone here though to save you from having to listen to the stream.
All right, this is it is that time of the night. We are close to an hour and a half at this point. So we will discover where we are. Kaya, you're still muted, but you're plugging in.
Sorry about that. I had to get my charger.
Ah, that's what it was. All right, I thought it was a pee break or something.
That too.
There we are. I'm just going to check. There's no more questions coming in on the live, but we do have the vault to go to for a couple of questions. D'Lilah is away from the camera for a little bit. So these are vault questions, which kind of, it looks like you can see through my face at this point. It's sort of weird. It's all the busy bees out there. There is, not busy bees. What was it? Oh, you're too young. You don't know. It's true. That was a TV show. It is ageist. Well, okay. What was the kids' TV show in Canada where the woman held up a mirror and said, but it had no mirror in it. It was just like the loop, and she was saying, "I see Aiden. I see Christopher. I see." I bet. No, you don't know.
I'm young. Okay.
All right. So, it wasn't a slight in ageism way. Dear Love Doctor, what do you think is an appropriate amount of love interests to invite to a casual dinner party? Hashtag too many bags in one basket, but I'm lonely. So we're gonna D'Lilah is Lily's with D'Lilah, but she's getting the headphones in. Oh, she can hear us? All right. So the question being, what do you think is an appropriate amount of love interests to invite to a casual dinner party? That is the question. D'Lilah, you're in the hot seat. Do you want to take it first? You are currently muted, though. You are muted, so we can't actually hear you. Yeah. Oh, let's. Oh, all right. There. That should do it.
That was you. Okay.
That was me that time.
Sorry, I was petting my puppy. Can you say the question again?
All right, dear Love Doctor, what do you think is an appropriate amount of love interests, as in people that you're interested in love-wise, to invite to a casual dinner party? Too many eggs in one basket is a hashtag that goes with that.
Okay,
well,
you don't have to brag.
I mean, it's nice that you have so many interests, but maybe inviting one at a time would be the best way. I mean, you want to try and get to know these people and not just try and pit them up against each other, right? Unless you want to just put them up against each other, in which case invite them all and see what happens.
There we are. Kaya, yeah, so we're sliding around all the windows, Kaya.
I mean, if you're all down to have an orgy, I guess you could get as many as you want. But I mean, if they're not down for that, I'd go with what D'Lilah says and maybe go with one at a time. That's like a non-issue, okay? Like, why are you bragging? We get it. You have a bunch of people lined up for you, okay?
Yeah, how lucky you must be.
Right? I can't even get one. I can't even get half.
It needs 6 years to get a boyfriend.
Right? There's people live in my neighborhood who wouldn't even show up to it.
So I that might be COVID. Could be one of the reasons that are keeping them away. Jason McCullough had said romper room. I don't think he was referring to the dinner party. That was the name of the children's TV show that I was referencing earlier. So the romper room could actually sort of describe. I would say only invite the love interests that are aware of each other and okay with it. Because Kaya, I think, had the point. If you're looking for an orgy, you don't want to surprise anyone on that. You don't want somebody to show up and go, "Oh, hey, I pull a number now, so I'll be number 4." It's what 18. I'll trade you.
Well, are they love interests? Are they love interests or sex interests? Because there's a difference.
There is a difference. So love interests, again, those who are aware, again, still valid. I think that's still a valid response. And if you have any questions, please, you can either drop them into the chat here in the room. Make sure you're hitting the likes, you people. Pricks not hitting like. Or
right, all my subscribers, why aren't you fucking asking a question? You want me to spank you?
Well, maybe they do.
You know
Is that
what?
an
I won't
option?
thank you if you don't ask a question.
Oh, I think Delilah is saying is jealous that there's Spanx being given out.
I'll give you one too. Don't worry. Next
I've been
time when
a
this
bad
COVID is
girl.
over,
The amount of tongue control you showed to be able to say that with the drink in your mouth before you swallowed was amazing. That was great. Just I only spelt that out for those who are out there kind of perving it a little bit. Jason McCullough is saying I'm calling my next orgy the romper room, and I think that would fit. That would definitely fit. So we're going to the vault again. You can always go to if you need to ask a question anonymously. There is the Slido. Yes, Lily. People can go to Slido with the hashtag TLD29 to ask questions anonymously. We're probably going to just do one or two more questions unless we get some coming in. And dear Love Doctor, how do birds and bees actually do it? Kaya, you're in the hot seat. Do you want to take this one first?
I don't think that's very ethical because that's like zoophilia. Like, how do you know that the bird is consenting to you if you don't speak the same language? So I definitely think that that's wrong on a moral level, personally.
I didn't even take that question that way. All right.
I didn't.
Delilah.
Biologically.
That's sorry. I think Kaya was addressing all the chicken fuckers out there. Which chicken fuckers being an insult that has been used in the past. Never mind. Delilah, your answer. How do birds and bees actually do it?
Biologically.
Biologically.
They just
Uh,
know. I mean, I don't even know if birds actually do it or they just fertilize eggs after they're. Honestly, I couldn't even tell you.
Oh, you
I'm not
meant
a
with
specialist.
each other?
Yeah, I wasn't assuming that humans would be trying to have sex with a bee. I mean, I wouldn't even know how that would happen.
Okay, I thought you meant the bees having sex with the birds, and I'm like, that's still not.
All right.
There's nothing
To mention this to the sociology student, and not to be ageist about this, but to be slightly ageist about this. It used to be referred to the talk that you would get from your parents or whoever. I'll tell you about the birds and the bees.
Oh, I know that part.
All right, so that was the euphemism that was used. It was not talking about whether or not the birds and the bees. The idea of, sorry, for the image that was thrown in there for a little bit about a human trying to have sex with a bee, I kind of pictured like there's got to be like there's some guy who's going, if I get stung, it'll swell bigger. And was
my
trying to think of a little bit of that as an advantage, but
No, what I thought is that someone took that euphemism and was like, but how do birds and bees have sex with each other? Kind of thing. I wasn't like, oh, I don't know what this means. Anyways.
You are both hilarious. I'm so glad we had this conversation.
Right? This is like the great Wednesday night. I should be doing homework, but instead I'm here.
all right. We're keeping you for. We have a question that just came in. Let me bring that up on screen. What is a theme in burlesque that you want to do that you haven't done? All right.
Wow.
I don't think this question's for me, so we're gonna. Delilah, are you ready to go? You're in the hot seat.
I don't even know. I guess it would be like typical showgirl. Like I've never done that before because I'm rock and roll. But I could just imagine myself with one of those like pig feathers and like the boas on the butt and stuff, and just like super elegant thing that I wouldn't even know how to do right now.
You
especially
kid?
since I've
You just
had
had
4
the shoulder
years.
moves down. You did it perfectly.
Well, I mean, if you're part of the shimmy, you want to just do it faster. I mean,
I'm just gonna drink and enjoy. All right.
well, exactly the point. I don't know if I'm poised enough for it. Like you have to just kind of like have this kind of, I don't know, this air to you, this way of walking and moving that just feels like you're gliding. And I'm just so like hardcore and stuff a lot of the times that it's so hard for me to picture myself in that kind of like a typical showgirl. But gosh, it would be lovely if I could do that. I am building a costume now that would give me the opportunity to do that. And I'm practicing ballet every day to learn how to have that kind of a poise. But I think it's going to be a while until I get there. So don't hold your breath.
Well, no, it sounds like that's something you want to do and haven't done yet. So that does answer the question, and you are definitely working towards that. Uh, Denis Leger is saying, I read once that eagles couple in mid-flight. That is either a lot of plummeting or it's probably fairly brief. Miriam is saying the birds and the bees, the flowers and the trees. That's quoting the song. And Cherry Top says, actually, there's a tribe in Brazil that does the bee treatment for penis enlargement.
Oh, gosh.
I don't know if that's for penis enlargement or for gullibility training. So, hey, believe us on this.
Size doesn't matter that much, guys. Do not prick yourselves with bees. Not worth it.
All right, Kaya's.
Yeah.
You're not sure. You're like, maybe size matters.
I'm like, of course.
All right. What's a theme in burlesque that because you are a fairly burly baby at this point in time. You just had your first big show being the Trick or Tease. So what's a theme of burlesque that you want to do that you have not yet done?
I definitely want to do something relating to my Korean roots. So if people don't, for those who don't know, I'm Greek and I'm Korean, but I find that my Korean side is the part that was kind of taken away from me, or that people tried to take away from me a lot. So I'd really like to do an act that incorporates like Korean culture, and I'm very influenced by. I'm going to show you soon, but I definitely want to incorporate that into my next act.
Please do. That would be so gorgeous. Have you ever seen Show My More?
I have not.
Well, she is an Asian burlesque artist, and she has created a dumplings act where she created herself like a steamer, where she is the steamiest Asian dumpling. That's her tagline. And she's in the steamer that she created specifically for this. And it's absolutely incredible, and I think that could be a really great inspiration for you.
That's amazing. I was actually very inspired by this type of Korean shamanic dance, which was a dance that was to sort of chase away evil spirits. And I saw it recently, and I'm like very inspired by that, and I want to incorporate it soon. So I'm looking forward to it. And thankfully, I mean, it's not like should I mention it?
Go for
the
it.
Amplify Scholarship.
Yeah.
I was awarded the Amplify Scholarship, which was like, whoa! So I'll get to develop this act. That's what I want to do specifically with it. So I'm going to do that, hopefully.
That's so great. I can't wait to see what you're going to do. You're going to knock everybody's socks off.
And it's thanks to you, because without like you giving me that push, I would have never started.
Aww.
I'm drunk, so I'm crying.
Me too. Cheers.
Cheers.
Look me in the eye, Paul.
Always, baby.
I can't cheers. My glass is empty. I gotta put something in. I can't drink from an empty glass. That's even worse.
Boom,
So-
Jason. It's not the size of the fishing rod. It's how you dangle the worm. It's the butt power, right? If your butt is strong, then you'll be able to
This is why men need to know how to twerk. Well, people with penises need to know how to twerk, because the whole doesn't do it, honey.
There we are. Is that hands, fingers doing the love thing? I'm not. High five. All right. Yes, congratulations again. Now, I did not answer that question as of yet. I was going to get to it, but somebody in the chat is saying it's for you, Dr. Love. And I'm not Dr. Love. First off, I'm the Love Doctor. All right. I even said it right above where you type that in. All right. If I was Dr. Love, I would have finished grade school. I'm the Love Doctor. Doctor's my family name. This is for you, the Love Doctor. I'm just correcting your grammar. Would you do a burlesque, and what theme would you like? I
Ooh.
I would definitely. I have thought about this a lot. I'm not sure exactly what theme I would do. I am completely enamored with the amazing talent of Baron von Stick, because the ability that he has to bring comedy into burlesque, to be at times absurd, at times poignant, and at times like the level of talent that this person puts into crafting a routine and delivering it for the audiences, I think is amazing. And Baron von Stick, if you get a chance to see them, please do so. That would be somebody. That's somebody who inspires me, that I would wish to be like, to bring that kind of comedy to it. I would like to play a little bit with my origins, but one of the things I would definitely be wearing pasties, but I don't know. I think I'd probably tease the reveal of the sunglasses about to come off, but they're not gonna come off. It's I don't know if I could actually do it with like pasties over the eyes, just so, because the people can't see my eyes. Yeah, Jason McCullough is mentioning the Baron. If I was to attempt burlesque, or male burlesque, or boylesque, whatever you prefer to hear it called as, that would be somebody I would view as an idol of somebody to reach towards, because they are just so amazing and captivating to watch on stage. And here we go. Slanche, we're having a drink.
Yeah.
Salty.
Slanche.
My favorite's the Vietnamese one. Mo Thai Ba Yo.
Multi by ho.
I like that. I don't know what it is, but I like it.
It's 1, 2, 3, go. Or if you say the yo wrong, it's actually 1, 2, 3, strawberry.
Strawberries was actually my first experience with food and sex, and I'm not sure if that's what turned me off, but all right. I just shared a little too much.
No, I want to hear more. Tell us the story.
You see that? I have fruit tattoos for a reason.
You know what?
missing something.
I can't eat a mango without thinking wonderful thoughts. All right, we're gonna go.
And I've been
into-
stuck with cucumbers. How boring am I?
It's the sensation on the tongue. Oysters are great, but a mango. All right. Now that no one's commenting at this point in time. I think we're losing viewers with me talking about what I like. Dear Love Doctor, I'm terrified. Should this be our last question? It starts out, I'm terrified.
I'm terrified. Same.
Ooh, that sounds like a regular day in my bedroom.
Woohoo. Dear
That's
Love
my
Doctor,
everyday life.
I'm terrified my friend is in love with a crazy person. Her laugh shrivels my testes. But the stories and songs to come are going to be awesome. What do I do?
Do not
everybody-
intervene.
I want to jump on this bum a little bit early. I think everybody has that one time. Jason McCullough has mentioned Doctor is all about the mouth feel. I'm definitely about the mouth feels. Everyone has that friend or has that story about their friend making a mistake. And the only way to keep that person as a friend is to not try to push it. Let them make the mistake. They are there. They know the full story of the relationship more than you would, even though you think you know. Let them enjoy it. It doesn't matter if their laugh shrivels your testes. Your testes are not involved in their relationship. And if you can remain that person's friend and support them while they're with that person, and then if it does, as you fear it will, end badly, you will be there for them when it ends. Because if you go and you push them at her and they choose that partner over you because they don't want to be lonely, then you are without that friend for the meantime. Kaya, we'll let you take the next stab on that one.
You know what? I feel very insulted because I feel like this person's talking about me. You know what?
Your laugh has not shriveled any testes tonight. So not that I'm aware of, because it's rather it's you're it's I see you laughing, but I don't hear it. So I believe it's at some supersonic level, and it's not having a bad effect on me. Delilah, what do you have to add to this?
Yes, don't don't intervene because then you will be the person who's trying to take away their love or whatever it is, you know. You don't want to be the Paul McCartney to their Yoko Ono.
And on top of that too, you don't want to be the external force that they can kind of galvanize together against, which would prolong the relationship if it is not a good relationship. And who knows, maybe your friend knows what the fuck their heart is doing, and that person knows what their heart is doing, and they can be happy together, and then you can be happy for them when you realize that they are experiencing joy.
Yeah, get to know her better. Maybe you just don't know her enough and you're able to, maybe there's a deeper purpose. Maybe you're jealous. Maybe you're scared that you're going to be missing out on the friendship or something if he's going to find somebody else that he wants to hang out with. Like, look into yourself and try and recognize where the feeling is really coming
And
And
maybe, just maybe, you're sexist and ableist.
from. Maybe you don't like women at all, and that's why your testicles are shriveling up. I don't know.
you don't want to admit you're just jealous of losing time with your friend. And
Yeah.
here's are we going to leave it on that note, or do you want to take one more question? Put your votes in the comments. Do that, or let's hear it from the panel. Do you want one more question, or are we leaving it at that?
I'm cool with another question. My
I
subscribers
think
better leave
we
one.
could, yeah, we could take it. Hmm.
All right. The next question is, dear Love Doctor, how to approach a guy from another guy at yoga? P.S. I'm gay. All right.
Wait, what? Sorry, did I understand that properly?
All right. This is how it's written.
Okay.
I'll just make that larger on the screen. That's the button that does it. How to approach a guy from another guy at yoga, and then
Ooh,
in quotes, I'm gay.
nice.
Oh.
I'm
So
half gay.
That's a difficult one because people generally go to yoga to like de-stress and stuff. And like I'm just thinking about it from a woman's position. If I went to go to yoga and a man went there and he started hitting on me after a yoga class, I would probably feel pretty uncomfortable. But if it was just like a normal banter, you know, like, oh yeah, that was a great class, you know, little things like that. And then if you go there regularly and you see the same person over and over and you build a kind of relationship over time, I think that if you're just going to go and make like a sudden move, being like, oh, you're hot, and suddenly I saw you stretching and now I want you, like that's just kind of selfish, I think.
that's creepy despite gender. Kaya, do you have a suggestion?
I mean, I definitely agree. Maybe try to develop a friendship first and get to know them. I know definitely as like a queer woman, I'm not always sure if another woman that I fancy is queer as well. So I maybe try to develop a friendly relationship that I don't sexualize. And I'm like, oh yeah. And then I slip in at one point. Oh yeah, I went to do groceries the other day, and also I'm gay. But yeah, I went to go do groceries and like get a radish or something. You know,
That's the way.
I was expecting a little more subtle, like, and I ran into my ex-girlfriend. No, that was a brilliant little fact drop. I think that was well done. I would suggest, yeah, not to sexualize the relationship, but if you've had a conversation or two, invite them to coffee, so you can maybe get to know them on a more one-to-one basis outside of the yoga studio, and that is a chance, because you don't want to make a person feel uncomfortable in the place that they are going for work. Cherry is saying, yes, with Wild D'Lilah, let it happen organically. Purposefully trying to make it happen would definitely be
Mhm.
creepy. And again, yeah, do not sexualize the interactions.
But
Yes,
to
Delilah.
respond, sorry, to respond to you, Love Doctor, when you said that, you know, maybe ask them out to have a coffee or something and talk outside of the setting. What happens if it doesn't work out? You realize that you guys kind of really dislike each other, and then you're still going to the same yoga studio. Isn't that awkward? Like, you have to think about that, right? The whole don't sit where you eat. Like, if you really think this person's attractive, take the time to get to know them. There's no reason why it has to happen right now or this month. Like, there's time that we can take to see if there's actually something deeper there before we even ask them out to coffee. You don't think?
My suggestion about asking them out to coffee was to say to not sexualize the asking out for coffee. It's two people who are going to coffee together. It's and
That's
the
in an
comment
ideal
about
world. Not like
true,
that's
but
not in the real world. You ask somebody out for coffee, you're like, okay, there might be something here.
there is that's true that could happen. But if the person is hetero and doesn't realize they're being hit on, then it's just coffee, and they're going out to chat with somebody that they've
Yeah.
chatted with. And that can happen, and you'll have a better sense at coffee. Now, the don't shit where you eat kind of thing, that's more for work where you're sort of forced to interact. But a yoga studio, yeah, there's 11 other mats that are down there. You don't have to be in the same corner or side by side when you go back. So Wild Delilah is saying that she'd be uncomfortable. You can always
Well, the
change
thing is,
class if
like,
that's the case, but
see, and that is coming from somebody who doesn't have their yoga studio, because the people that I know, like the people who are really into their yoga studios, it's like they can't imagine going anywhere else. They found their place. They go there multiple times a week. They are friends with their instructors and all this stuff, and then just going to like this place where you're supposed to feel really at ease and just really calm, and then seeing a face there that makes you anxious could become really problematic. Whether it's for you or for the other person, we have to take that into consideration before we make that move to ask them to coffee. If the only reason that we're asking them to coffee is that we find them physically attractive, we have to take that into consideration.
I mean, I don't know if this is like similar, but I kind of had that issue with someone who was also in my program. We had a bit of a falling out, and then we ended up having the same class together after. And like, I definitely wasn't going to drop a class. I want to graduate on time, right? So I wasn't going to do it. So I think I just accepted the fact that, okay, someone I kind of really hate is in my class right now, but is their presence like really going to affect me? Not really. Especially in a yoga class or in like one of my classes, we don't really have to interact with each other. So that's a positive aspect to it. I guess it's something that you accept. If you know you're going to do that, you kind of take into account if something bad happens, well, we're going to be in the same circle. And am I willing to put up with the fact that like we might have to deal with each other even if something bad happens? Okay. That's what's gonna happen. I feel like these are things that you have to kind of like calculate in your mind before sometimes.
the
Yeah,
risk.
you might be okay with it, but the other person might have a difficult time with it. So it's not just about calculating whether or not you can get over something, but also whether or not you're going to be impacting somebody else.
Now, to be a little conversational about something or confessional about something, is I was a victim of stalking, career wise. There was a person who I helped out, and then they three different times they did basically fairly shitty things to me, and so I had they asked for forgiveness each time, and the third time I said okay, whatever. I didn't really give them forgiveness, but then I just sort of started ignoring the fact that they existed, and I still went and did my stuff, and I ignored them as much as possible. But they, because they were not getting the attention they wanted from me, they became very aggressive. And to the point that I was getting messages. I had to block them on social media. I had to make sure I was physically uncomfortable, because whenever we were in the same room, they tried to get as physically close to me as possible. Like I'd be at a show watching the show, and all of a sudden there's breath on the back of my neck that is this person. So what I had to do was I outed it to other people in the community, and I'm saying I am being stalked. I please, if this person is if in the room, can you just give me a heads up and make sure that they keep clear of me? And they ended up being a bit embarrassed by all this. But they mailed shit to my house. They were very intrusive. I ended up writing a brilliant joke about it, but they're not. It was still at the time fairly uncomfortable and very anxiety inducing. But the
Well,
thing is, I could still be in the same room with them, even though I was the victim of the stalking. And the thing is, that is an unrepentant stalker who was chasing me. Right?
who
If
are they?
you
I just want to talk.
I don't want to give them the
Of
power of having their name said. I ignore their
no
existence. That is
worries.
the best thing for me to do, is to ignore their existence. When we log off, I'll tell you the joke so you can hear the joke. But
Can I just say something?
go for it.
By saying like you informed people that this person was your stalker and they got embarrassed, so they backed off.
Yes,
As a
not
woman,
entirely. Not entirely. There was instances after that as well, but they did back off. I did fear that it would come to violence, but then again, I'm built the way I'm built. I'm not a fighter, all right, but at the same time, I know I'm not a physically I don't back away from physical intimidation because I figure I can take a hit, and I know not everyone
Mhm.
can. But at
right?
the same time, just to take that back to what Kaya was saying about not sexualizing the going for coffee, just to kind of get to know them a little bit outside of the yoga studio about whether or not it's worth pursuing. But Delilah, I'm sorry to cut you off. Please say
No,
what
it's
you were going
okay.
to say.
Don't worry about it.
All right, I feel bad now that I did to cut off to clarify. But what would it be, a Love Doctor live stream, if I'm not uncomfortable? I'd like to draw this out of you. Come on, Delilah, let's get resolution on this. What were you going to say?
No, it's not about resolution. I was just going to say that as a woman having been stalked in the past, telling people, "Oh, this person is my stalker," does not make them go away. It actually makes it more terrifying. So if she ended up backing off because of that,
It was a he.
then
It was a he.
I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with it. Maybe not. I don't know.
All right, Daniel Leger is saying it's a good show tonight. I feel like we're ending on a little bit of a downer note, but it's I think that we addressed the questions, and I know the thing is about making it awkward at the yoga studio. That is a risk that you have to be willing to take, and you don't want to make it for others. We got one last comment has come in here on the chat with hi lovelies. First, a big thank you to the Love Doctor. Oh, thank you very much. But we have a question for Wild D'Lilah and Kaya Koko. What was your inspiration for your first burlesque number? Lusty Onyx is out there. She's asking that because she's saving my ass by giving us a nice, happy, polite question. We're gonna go with Delilah because that's a beautiful smile she has there for Lusty. What was uh,
Always. For
what
Lusty,
was your
anything.
inspiration for your first burlesque number? Thank you, Lusty.
My first burlesque number is still something that I'm actually working on because I'm still pretty new in the burlesque world. But it's where I'm singing "I Want You, She's So Heavy" by the Beatles, and I'm doing a strip number to that. It's actually something that I'm going to be filming in a couple of weeks. So I'm really excited about that. And my inspiration for that was that, first of all, the Beatles is such a huge part of my life, very rock and roll, and that particular song allows me to showcase some of my more teasing skills. So, it's really all just about pulling the audience in and making them fall in love with me. And it's a long enough song that I have the time to kind of go into the audience and, really work my magic with them. Yeah, so that's something I'm still working on, and this is part of the costume for that number.
Oh.
Woo. And you do it brilliantly. The fact that you stand out because you both sing and do burlesque at the same time. It's the fact that every artist wants to see it grow. They never want to sit on an act. I would have thought that you would have considered that to be polished already, but that it's fantastic that you still want to make it bigger and better.
Thank you.
Kaya, so what was your inspiration for your first act?
Okay. Well, so hi, Lusty. Thank you. I'll be sure to drop you a follow if I find your Instagram. Um, so my first act, I felt like I kind of wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do, but Delilah pushed me. So I was like, okay, I need to figure something out. And I remember my sort of Spotify randomly played a song, which was Lucifer, My Love. My friend suggested a song by that same group before, and I listened to it. I loved it. But then my Spotify switched to this specific song. And when I listened to it, I kind of felt, because I'm someone who, I have borderline personality disorder. So I find I'm constantly seeking like love and affection from people. And I find in this song, this person is kind of like begging for Lucifer's attention. And I really wanted to sort of show the kind of like pain that I feel. Because I'm more of an actor than a dancer. If you saw my performance, it was more about like Delilah told me that my strength lies more in my facial expressions and things like that. It's more about those aspects that I try to make stand out. And I find that my performance was also about kind of portraying the ways in which I was like always begging for the affection of people who were just out to hurt me in a lot of ways. So that was the inspiration for my first act. Of course, it's so far from perfect, but I'm going to develop it a lot more. So that was the point behind it.
All right, I want to thank the wonderful performers. If the link tree that's running at the bottom, the top of that says "Buy me a drink." Any money that's donated through there will be split among all the performers tonight. I definitely want to thank the wonderful Kaya Koko, who is brie.bim.bap on Instagram. The fantastic Wild D'Lilah on Instagram. That's Delilah. It's DLILAH on Instagram. So Wild D'Lilah. You are both such fantastic guests. I'm so glad to have you here. We definitely have to talk about doing the poly episode, the polytoad. What were we calling it? The polysode. The
Yes.
polysode. We'll have to do the polysode at some point in time so I can be schooled most properly. The show would not exist without all you people out there watching. Hagar, I'm not pronouncing it correctly, am I? Somebody was correcting. All right. Hagar, Dodge, Kaya, shouting out to Kaya, getting all kinds of kisses. Denny Leger has said it's been a good show tonight. And we've had Lusty Onyx has been sending kisses as well. Please, thank you everybody. Hit the like button that's down in the corner. We love you all. Good night.